When he puts that bursting balloon on a Trevenant, if he's attacking with a Night Marcher, that Night Marcher will be knocked out by the act of attacking, which puts that much more pressure on Pramawat to find attackers and find double colorless energies while under the Brutal Item Lock.
Yeah, but Pram does have access to Hex Maniac in his deck. He also has Field Blower, so maybe he could pull off a good turn where he goes Hex plus Field Blower, get rid of that Bursting Balloon so he doesn't have to take that damage with one of his Night Marchers.
Now, conversely, I would say Pram's deck is kind of de-optimized for the Trevenant matchup. He's playing 4 Trainer's Mails.
Yeah, you know, Trainer's Mail
is... he's built for speed.
Yeah, and it's de-optimized for the Trevenant matchup, but at the same time, it's almost optimized for the Trevenant matchup because it's a hard matchup either way, and if you do get that turn of items, you just want to fly through that deck. And you can see that on Pramawat's face right there, shaking his head, seeing, oh no, it's another Trevenant, and my opponent is getting to go first. Ooh, Mysterious Treasure.
Here we go.
As long as Chaz...
Is he looking for the Lele?
Yep, as long as he has one of his 2 Tapu Lele in the deck, and as long as he has one of his 2 Wallies.
So once again, this is the difference between the Trevenant decks we saw yesterday. The Trevenant decks yesterday, they were okay with, we'll just Ascension. If we give him a turn of items, it's no problem. He's running the 2 Wallies. He wants to make sure he gets this turn 1 lock. I mean, this is the kind of scenario where you could easily see the opposing player scoop it up pretty quickly.
Yeah, it depends on what Pramawat's hand looks like. I do see a Sycamore, I think, in that hand, so he'll be able to at least use that to draw some cards. But there it is, that Wonder Tag, finding Wally, getting Trevenant in play with that Forest Curse ability. No more items for Michael Pramawat.
Yeah, and you can see Pram's got the Dead Trainer's Mail in his hand.
Yep. So we'll go ahead and draw for turn. Does top deck an in, so he has an option between Juniper or in this turn. We'll see which one he chooses to go with. He also has the Phantump in his hand as well as a Marshadow GX. Looks like he will go ahead and put that Marshadow down. And Marshadow is actually relevant. Pram doesn't know yet that Chaz is playing Bursting Balloon, I don't think. So there's always the chance that you know, that card could come out, and Marshadow does not die immediately to Bursting Balloon like his other Night Marchers. And Pram's just gonna scoop immediately.
He picked up a wave of items off that Juniper and said, I've had enough. Let's go second.
Did not draw what he needed there in that game. Game 2 gonna start off, wow, so fast. Pramawat being a very intelligent player, knowing I'm not going to win this game. We're going to scoop it up, go to game number 2, and see if I can pop off with my turn of items.
Guys, this is the kind of spicy stream action people are looking for. We could be done in 5 minutes.
Oh, no.
Are we on the alternate stream yet?
Not quite.
Wow, that turn 1 lock was ugly stuff.
But, you know, Pram will get to go first here. He has that heavy Trainer's Mail in his list, 4 copies of it. He'll be able to just draw through his deck as fast as possible on this first turn. It'll be crazy to see how many items he might be able to play here.
Yeah, and I know we don't yet have like the scroll across the bottom yet, but these guys are at table 10. They have to go 3-0 if they want to cut. Pram's got to win this. Chaz has got to win this. These people are already in win-and-in situations.
Yeah, Pram has definitely had a rough go today in Roanoke. Round 1 hit a Seismitoad, I believe, lost to that one. Round 2 played against a Trevenant, as you just said. You believe he beat
Look
it
at
last
Pram's
round.
body language. He's thinking, how did I end up on stream for this?
Yeah, unfortunate. So we pulled Pramawat up
madness.
Here, but unfortunately it's not looking too hot for him. And this might be a great opportunity for Chaz. You know, congratulations to him making it to day 2 thus far. And you know, it always feels great to beat one of the game's top players. I'm sure it's a really bad matchup for Pramawat, but congrats to Chaz nonetheless.
Yeah, he's gonna go back and watch the video of this stream and be like, this was me crushing one of the all-time greats.
Hey, but let's not count Pramawat out yet.
All right, here goes Pram. He's gonna go for a big turn 1.
Absolutely. We see an Ultra Ball, so that's a good start.
He needs to kind of turn 1 that's a revolution, right?
Mm-hmm. Something he could maybe go for at some point in the game is to just kind of loop for a couple turns with Sky Return. We've seen that be a strategy people have used against Trevenants in the past. And, you know, that would force Chaz to put a bunch of energy on something like a Tapu Lele or Necrozma to take a knockout with, like, Prismatic Burst or Energy Drive. So we'll see if that might be a strategy Pramawat employs here.
So he throws away the Dimension Valley, and at some level I recognize that's... it's because you know, he knows Dimension Valley's coming. Does it make a big difference, assuming that he's unaware of the bursting balloons? Not that it matters, because bursting balloon does 60. But are you trying to attack more with Pumpkaboo or more with Joltik in this matchup? Does it matter? You're just like looking for attackers.
You'll just take whatever you get, I think, in this matchup. Either attacker will work once Dimension Valley comes into play. You know, Trevenant's only stadium is Dimension Valley. They historically don't run any sort of way to remove that. In the past, some Trevenants have played Silent Lab, but we see Chaz here is just playing the Dimension Valley, so not going to be an option there. So once it comes out, he knows it's going to not be an issue, and he started the Joltik, doesn't need the Dimension Valley to attack with the Joltik. So we'll just see him draw 7 cards. He also doesn't want to give Chaz the out to get that turn 1 Ascension for free, right? He wants to force Chaz to find the energy or find the Dimension Valley himself.
Right.
And this is where, you know, Pramawat said he thinks this matchup can go in his favor. You know, he's just able to pop off here, getting rid of cards that aren't going to be useful, like the Counter Catcher, like the Getsus. And he can just keep setting up with Shaman EX, drawing a bunch of cards.
He's looking for a Shaman here to keep drawing through his deck. Oh, does he already have a Shaman in
here?
here?
Yeah, either that or another Ultra Ball.
He's got another Ultra Ball.
He can get rid of 2 Night Marchers with this.
Yeah, thinning out those Night Marchers.
Actually choosing to get rid of it, and wants to keep a Pumpkaboo around to potentially have that as an option to attack on the next turn. Or in a future turn.
Right. Right, well, he knows he's going to be able to bench that, so he's thinning his hand out to Shaman for as many cards as possible.
See that Trainer's Mail. Let's see if he can maybe get like a Battle Compressor, start discarding some of those Night March Pokemon. Might not be anything in there he wants to take.
Yeah, looked like a bunch of Pokemon and a supporter.
I think I did see a VS Seeker, but he doesn't want to take that right now. He wants to, you know, use Shaman, keep drawing cards, draw as many cards as possible this turn.
Yeah.
6 cards here on the setup after benching the Pumpkaboo. See what else he gets to keep popping off. Looks like another Joltik. He does have, doesn't look like he has anything else to keep going on this turn. He does have a Juniper, however, for the next turn, and a couple of Night Marchers he can potentially discard. Has a Choice Band, debating where to place it. Might as well put it on Pumpkaboo. And looks like we'll get a count on the Night Marchers. Only 3 thus far. No Battle Compressors here on the first turn.
He does not have a great hand, I think, for next turn.
No, I think
didn't look super. That was not the kind of turn he was hoping to have for 1 turn of items.
There's that Bursting Balloon coming into play for Chaz.
And you see Pram immediately puts his finger to his forehead when the Bursting Balloon comes down. Says, oh, it's going to be like that.
Not something he really wants to deal with, I am sure. He will be able to take the knockout, however, and really kind of just put pressure on Chaz. I think he'll still take the knockout to force Chaz to just keep trying to stream Trevenants. And that can be a little harder, right? Chaz is not playing the Rescue Scarf, so keeping Trevenants in play can be a little more difficult than some of these other lists we've seen people playing. Like Jeremiah Schmutz, who's at one of the top tables, he's playing 4 Rescue Scarf in his list.
Right. That was what we saw on stream yesterday. And it was just, it was Energy Suppression, Rescue Scarf, Energy Suppression, Rescue Scarf. He was trying to not let people attack into his Trevenants, whereas here, Chaz is like, if you want to attack, you know, I've got a Bursting Balloon on it. Good luck.
Yeah, and I really liked Bursting Balloon coming into this event in Trevenant decks. It's really good against Buzzwole, which was expected to be popular. Pretty solid against things like Zoroark GX as well. So, and inversely, also really good against Night March, and we see that potentially working out for Chaz here.
Well, it's interesting. Looking at Chaz's list, he only plays 1 Rescue Stretcher and 1 Super Rod. He does not have a lot of Poke Recovery here. I mean, if Pram is able to get a few off the board, he could put himself in a situation where he could play items for a turn, and things could go completely sideways for Chaz.
And that may be what he tries to do here. He does have a Juniper in his hands. He could, you know, attach an energy to the bench plus play that Juniper, but then he has to...
So would you attach the DCE to the Pumpkaboo, or would you attach it to the Shaman in anticipation of trying to loop?
I think putting it on the Pumpkaboo here may be fine. He needs to play this Juniper in his hand. Looks like he's going to opt for that potential Shaman loop, though. And Juniper is going to go ahead and discard those extra Night Marchers. I think that should put him at what he needs to get the knockout here. Should be 6 in the discard now. Maybe there's only 5.
And he's definitely going to attack into this Bursting Balloon, right?
I think only if he's getting a knockout.
Right. Does he not have the knockout?
He may only have 5 Night Marchers, which would only be 100 damage. Looks like he's going to actually choose to retreat here and go for the Sky Return, and this will put a little bit of damage in play on that Trevenant, and maybe can set it up for a knockout next turn with the Sky Return, or with a Night March.
Yeah,
So
he doesn't want to hit into the bursting balloon. So
No.
because the shaman goes back to the hand, when you hit into the bursting balloon, it does not take a knockout. And that's even true if the shaman has like 60 damage on it, right?
Yep. There's
that was
no...
a controversial call.
Yes, it was.
stream
Whenever Bursting Balloon first came out, players weren't super familiar with the way the card works, but the way that the order of operations go is you resolve all effects of the attack. So Shaman attacks. So if, say, for example, Shaman EX has 60 damage on it. It attacks into the Trevenant. You do still take the 60 damage, but before the game checks for KOs, you resolve all effects of attack. So you have to do the effect of Sky return Shaman EX to your hand. Thus, Shaman's out of play, no damage counters on it in your hand. Shaman does not die to Bursting Balloon.
Right.
So there's the Mysterious Treasure. Can find that Trevenant break if he wants it here. And start spreading damage with Silent Fear. Looks like that is the route he's going to take. And we'll see if Night March is able to get the knockout. Will need, I believe, 7 Night Marchers in the discard pile. I think he'll be at 6 after this this Joltig goes down. And the Bursting Balloon as well. Everything Chaz Zander needs right here. Has it all. He does only play 3 copies of Bursting Balloon. Doesn't play the full 4, but able to find one off of that Cynthia.
Yeah.
Here comes the 30 damage on each bench Pokemon. We'll see what Pramawat sends up.
He's got to attack in with the Pumpkaboo, right?
But I think that is the case. Hopefully, he's able to find a way to discard another Night Marcher. Maybe if he has that Hex Maniac in his hand, maybe he can Guzma around it. Oh, just a pass. Doesn't even want to put the double colorless in play. Maybe we're going to see Pram employ that Sky Return loop strategy.
Yeah. Well, the problem is he was unable to get a Float Stone down early.
Not as much mobility. We see a huge Getsis comes out, shuffling something like 6 or 7 cards into Pramawat's deck. Chaz will draw those off the top. Has lots of options now. Pramawat, I think, is just thinking, I'm going to have to go for this Sky Return strategy, and this is going to force Chaz to use something like the Necrozma GX, like the Tapu Lele GX to attack in order to deal with Shaman EX.
Right. Well, I mean, if Pram doesn't have a good way to efficiently retreat and kind of conserve the Tapu Lele's health, I mean, eventually he just runs out of steam, right?
Yeah, eventually the Tapu Lele would get knocked out, but that's fine. Like, in theory, the Tapu Lele loop works because Tapu Lele never faints. So he can go down to leaving Chaz with just 2 prizes, but it's not going to matter if he's not able to take those last 2.
Right.
So see what he drew for turn here. Needs to find another Shaman EX as well.
Oh, he finds the Marshadow.
That could be good. Could use that to use Night March. Looks like he'll probably Sky Return. We'll see if he sends that up. Looks like he will. Marshadow GX is actually weak to Psychic, though.
Interestingly, the Getsis in some ways helps Pram because he needed to thin out his hand to get value out of the Shamans. He needs to draw Night Marchers, DCEs. Marchers, DCEs. Meaningful supporters would be helpful.
Ends up working out for Pramawat here. That gets rid of a lot of his hand, but as you said, thins it out, so Shaman will be valuable for him on the next turn. Yeah. Marshadow GX is weak to Psychic, so a Tree Slam here actually would do 120 damage. Looks like that is what Chaz Zander is going to go for. No Bursting Balloon to combo with it, though, so Pramawat's definitely breathing a sigh of relief after that. So we're going to see a setup here drawing at 3 cards. DCE did go to the active.
Now you got a teammates. I'm sure he's thinking that's good, but he can teammates this turn, right? Was a Pokemon just knocked out?
No, unfortunately, no. A teammate was not just knocked out. Chaz just Tree Slammed for 120. Right. So
tears for days. I mean, he wants to. I think he feels like he's got to go. Does he play the Juniper now?
You know, it's an interesting call for sure. We'll see what he opts to go with. Could discard another Night Marcher with it. He'd have to discard a Puzzle of Time, which I think is a resource he'd want to have access to when he gets a turn of like Hex Maniac, potentially being able to play his items. But we'll see what he decides. You can tell he's really torn about this. Not sure what to do, not sure how to proceed at this point. Does he discard these resources, or does he just take this knockout here?
Yeah,
still unsure. Counting a Night Marchers real fast. So it's going to be enough to knock out the Trevenant.
I think Chaz wasn't sure it was a knockout.
Ooh, and Pram actually took a double colorless energy there off of the prizes. That could be useful for sure.
Oh, that's nice. Prizes don't get better than that for a game like this.
Absolutely not. And he has teammates in his hand. He knows Marshadow GX might actually go down here, so he can use that teammates on the following turn to get any 2 cards out of his deck.
Yeah. Chaz had the good fortune of not having to bench any Tapu Leles or starting the Espeon EX or Necrozma GX that he runs. And it's just pure wall of item lock on the board.
Yeah, it's actually interestingly enough, Chaz did have a theoretical out to win the game that last turn. He could have gone DCE, Necrozma plus Guzma, and he would have been able to Black Ray GX for 4 prizes.
Kill the Tapu Lele,
but now with just 2 prizes left, this Tapu Lele is going to get knocked out eventually. I don't know what Pramawat can do to come back from this. I don't see a copy of like Parallel City. We see these Night March decks play sometimes that he could use to get rid of that damaged Pokemon. I don't know that he has a way to clear this damaged Tapu Lele off of the field. Chaz only needing to take 2 more prizes. There's 3 energies on this Trevenant, so if next turn he has Necrozma plus DCE, he actually could win the game by going Black Ray and knocking out the Tapu Lele.
About to grab another Pumpkaboo?
I'm not sure.
I recognize he's like, I don't want to put the Tapu Lele in the active because then he tree slams, that's his win condition.
Right, exactly. Looks like he might be eyeing up another Shaman.
Yeah, trying to figure out if he can discard cards to draw, but realize that's not going to help him.
He's debating between Shaman and Oranguru here, it looks like. Looks like he took the Oranguru, actually. Oranguru's Psychic...
Bulky one-prizer.
Yeah,
I assume that's his thinking.
He could attach to it twice, and it could like, potentially take a knockout in a coming turn. But it does, require 3 energies, so it looks like we're just going to see the Sky Return, though.
Do you know what the first card he grabbed off the teammates was?
I did not notice
I assume it was a Guzma, because...
Something for the next turn, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, you think about what supporter he wants to play after this.
Yeah, he would want to find a way to get his items back and use abilities, and Guzma would be the card that let him do it. Rescue Stretcher on Chaz's side gets another Trevenant break in play.
The break comes down.
Chaz can win here if he has the double colorless energy plus the Necrozma GX to use that Black Ray. We'll see if that is an option for him or not. And this is not a good spot for Michael Pramawat. There's 150 damage on that Lele right now, I believe. So
yeah, he doesn't have the DCE.
Just 2 Silent Fears away from being knocked out. See a Tapu Lele come down, getting the Guzma.
He's got a tree slam. Right.
Yeah, he's got the game right there. That's it. That's it. All he has to do is Guzma into the Trevenant, retreat off with the Mystery Energy, and wow, Tree Slam coming in, taking a knockout on Tapu Lele with just 60 HP remaining. Chaz Zander here on stream, taking down one of the game's all-time greats, Michael Pramawat.
I know, Pram said it was 50-50, and he beat a Tribe Deck last round.
Yeah, I think it comes down to that first turn there. Pram did not have as optimal of a turn as he would have liked. He didn't play a single Battle Compressor on that first turn.
After the turn 1 scoop in Game 1, he was thinking Game 2, I'm going to go off.
Just didn't quite happen.
And it did not happen for him.
It's definitely unfortunate for Michael Pramawat. I got a feel for him. He's definitely a fan favorite. We're all friends with him. We cheer for him. But, congratulations to... Absolutely. Some of the best in the game, honestly. But we see Chaz Zander taking down Michael Pramawat. Congrats to him. We're definitely going to grab an interview with Chaz. Want to see how he's feeling after that game. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back with Chaz Zander.
Finger guns.